I'm Jerry Cox with the Forerunner Foundation in Washington, D.C. We're keeping score on the international trade dispute between Boeing and Airbus. You've probably heard that Airbus has been subsidized by European governments and that the World Trade Organization, WTO, previously ruled that Boeing got billions of dollars worth of illegal tax breaks from the United States. Instead of just going at each other with tariffs or other penalties that could start a trade war, the US and the EU agreed to let the WTO referee. The basic question is whether Americans and Europeans are keeping their promises to allow fair and open competition. The WTO knows that both Boeing and Airbus got started with substantial government subsidies. That body will decide whether either side is violating international rules, but they have to take a certain amount of history into account. Airbus got favorable loans, but it has to pay the money back. Boeing got an enormous head start in the commercial airliner business with grants and free technology. World War II also gave Boeing the know-how to crank out dozens of huge state-of-the-art airplanes every single day. After the war, when air carriers went shopping for planes, they had, with a few exceptions, two choices: a smaller Boeing or a bigger Boeing. Airlines were not comfortable with the prospect of buying all their aircraft from a single provider. They also knew that monopolists tend not to innovate. You know how it goes. I'll sell you whatever color Model T you want, so long as it's black. Europeans saw an opportunity to compete, but as soon as Airbus started flying, so did the lawsuits. Litigation produces more heat than light, so we haven't learned a whole lot, except that both sides got help that doesn't look entirely kosher. One result of the litigation could be that the United States is allowed to impose tariffs that would raise the price of Airbus planes. Then the Europeans could impose tariffs to raise the price of Boeing's. Not exactly a win-win, is it? For them or for us? Airlines pay higher prices, buy fewer planes, and we pay more for a plane ticket. The most fundamental question for the World Trade Organization is this: did government help on one side materially harm the other side's ability to compete? The WTO won't do any of us much good unless it ultimately supports free and open competition. United Airlines seems to be counting on that. Just months ago, the airline purchased $10 billion worth of these new planes, the Airbus A350 and the Boeing 787, split right down the middle. United has options on 50 more of these and 50 more of these. What better evidence can there be that the playing field is essentially level and that the airlines are in a position to keep it that way?